There are moments in life when the heart feels heavy, when the mind is restless, and nothing you try brings peace. You talk to people, you distract yourself, you keep yourself busy, but the weight inside remains. In those moments, Allah has placed a door right in front of you. A door so simple, so powerful, so full of mercy, that most people walk past it without realizing what they're missing. That door is istighfar. A single phrase, astaghfirullah, can lift what has been crushing you for years. It can soften a heart that has grown hard. It can open doors you couldn't open with all your effort. It can protect you from harm you never saw coming. And it can bring you back to Allah even when you feel completely lost. Istighfar is not only for those who made mistakes. It is for anyone who wants relief, clarity, protection, blessings, and closeness to Allah. Today, you will learn why istighfar is one of the greatest gifts Allah has given you, and why your life will never remain the same. Once you understand its power, let's begin. Many people search for peace in everything except turning back to Allah. They try distractions, entertainment, talking to people, or even staying busy so they don't have to face how heavy their heart feels. But true relief does not come from outside. It begins inside the moment the heart admits its need for Allah. When you say astaghfirullah sincerely, something quiet happens internally. Your chest loosens a little. The pressure you were carrying begins to soften. Your mind, which was running in circles, suddenly slows down. Your worries begin to settle, not because the problem disappeared, but because your heart is no longer carrying it alone. Istighfar is not only a request for forgiveness. It is an act of returning to the one who controls your affairs. It is you saying, Ya Allah, I cannot handle this on my own. I need you. And Allah never rejects a heart that turns back to Him. Even if your situation has not changed yet. Even if the results you are hoping for are still far. The moment you say astaghfirullah with sincerity, Allah places a calmness inside you that no one else can give. This inner calm is not random. It is a sign that Allah has already begun to lift something from your path. A sign that the difficulty is being rearranged. A sign that relief is on its way, even if you cannot see it yet. Sometimes the first mercy Allah gives you is not the solution. It is the strength to handle the weight. It is the clarity to think clearly. It is the patience to stay grounded. It is the feeling of being held by Him. And that strength comes from istighfar. When you return to Allah in humility, He returns to you with tranquility. He places light in your heart, peace in your thoughts, and a softness in your soul. This is why the believers who make frequent istighfar walk through difficulties with a calmness that surprises people. They are not relying on themselves. They are relying on Allah. So when the heart feels tight, when the world feels overwhelming, when you don't know what to do next, begin with astaghfirullah. Because sometimes the relief you feel after istighfar is the early sign that Allah has already started removing your hardship long before the solution appears. There are moments in life when you give everything you have. You plan, you try, you push, you sacrifice. You work late, you try different methods, you seek advice, you put in every possible effort, yet the situation refuses to move. This is one of the greatest signs Allah gives a believer, that some doors do not open through effort. They open through istighfar. Allah teaches us in the Quran through the story of Prophet Nuh alayhi salam that istighfar brings more than forgiveness. It brings blessings, opportunities, and openings you could never create on your own. He said to his people, seek forgiveness from your Lord, and He will give you wealth. He will give you children. He will grant you gardens and rivers. This means that istighfar removes the invisible barriers blocking your path. There are obstacles you cannot see, spiritual, emotional, unseen, or written in your destiny. And istighfar clears them one by one. Sometimes it is not your effort that is missing. It is your connection to Allah. Your heart is rushing, but your soul is not returning. Your hands are working, but your tongue is silent in remembrance. Your mind is planning, but your heart is not seeking forgiveness. When you start saying Astaghfirullah, you are acknowledging, Ya Allah, I have done what I can, the rest is with you. This surrender is what turns effort into results. Istighfar invites divine help. It invites barakah. It invites ease. It invites pathways that were previously closed. It invites people, opportunities, and solutions you never expected. There are people who struggled for years with the same problem: financial stress, emotional pain, family issues, stagnation, confusion, and everything began to shift the moment they started making istighfar regularly. Istighfar is not only for the sinful, it is for the struggling, the tired, the stuck, the one who feels blocked in life. Effort is necessary, but effort without Allah's mercy feels like pushing a locked door. Istighfar is the key that unlocks it. So when your path feels tight, when your progress feels slow, when your dreams feel far, and when your dua feels unanswered, increase your istighfar, because the doors you cannot open with your strength may open instantly with your humility. There are times when a person feels spiritually numb without understanding why. The prayers feel heavy, the Quran feels distant, the dua feels empty. Even good deeds feel like a burden instead of a comfort. This is not because Allah is far from you. Allah never distances Himself from His servants. It is because the heart collects layers over time, layers of stress, disappointment, sin, distractions, and neglect. Just like dust settles on a mirror and blocks the reflection, dust settles on the heart and blocks the light. Istighfar is the gentle rain that washes these layers away. When you say Astaghfirullah, you are not only seeking forgiveness, you are allowing your heart to breathe again. You are clearing away the heaviness that stops you from feeling close to Allah. You are polishing the inside so that guidance can enter easily. A heart that becomes hard does not harden overnight. It happens slowly through small daily forgetfulness, through moments of neglect, through a routine where Allah is mentioned less and less. But softness also returns gradually. And one of the most beautiful ways Allah softens the heart is through constant istighfar. With every sincere astaghfirullah, the heart becomes lighter, the guilt becomes less painful, the mind becomes clearer, the soul becomes calmer. You begin to notice that your worship feels different. A prayer that felt heavy yesterday feels comforting today. A dua that felt dry now feels meaningful. A verse of the Quran suddenly touches you deeply. This is the power of istighfar. It restores the heart to the state where it can feel again, where it can connect, where it can receive the mercy of Allah. A hard heart makes life difficult, not just spiritually, emotionally, mentally, and in relationships. But a soft heart makes life easier because it sees Allah in everything. And what softens the heart fastest is not long lectures, not complicated practices, not waiting for motivation, but the simple, sincere act of saying, Astaghfirullah. When you make istighfar a habit, your heart gradually transforms. It becomes more humble, more forgiving, more grateful, more hopeful. A believer with a soft heart can carry difficulty more easily, respond to hardship with patience, and feel the sweetness of closeness to Allah. So whenever you feel disconnected, whenever your worship feels empty, or your heart feels heavy, begin with istighfar. Because the heart that remembers Allah is a heart that never stays hard for long. Life is full of visible challenges, stress, responsibilities, worries, plans. But there are also invisible challenges that you never know about, dangers you never see coming, tests that could have reached you, and paths that could have gone wrong without you realizing it. Allah in His mercy protects us from countless harms every single day. And one of the greatest shields He gives a believer is istighfar. The Prophet ﷺ said that Allah will never punish a people as long as they seek forgiveness. This means that istighfar is not just a spiritual act, It is a protection, a barrier, a shield wrapped around you. There are harms that were written to come your way, but because you said Astaghfirullah sincerely, Allah pushed them away. You didn't see the danger. You didn't see what was coming. You didn't even know there was a threat. But Allah removed it before it touched you. Sometimes you plan something and it suddenly doesn't work out. You feel disappointed, confused, even hurt. But later you realize that Allah was protecting you from something hidden. A wrong friendship, a wrong opportunity, a wrong decision, a wrong path. Your istighfar might have been the reason Allah redirected your steps. Istighfar also protects your mind. It protects the believer from negative thoughts, from emotional heaviness, from whispers of discouragement. When the heart is connected to Allah through constant seeking of forgiveness, Shaitan finds fewer openings to enter. Istighfar protects your relationships. It protects your home, your family, your health, your time, and even your future. There are struggles you avoided simply because you frequently said, Ya Allah, forgive me. Allah responds to a person of istighfar with care and gentleness. He places safety in their path, peace in their decisions, clarity in their thoughts, and light in their heart. Protection is not always something you can see. Sometimes it is a delayed harm. Sometimes it is a difficulty that never reached you. Sometimes it is a person who never entered your life. Sometimes it is a pain you never had to feel. And sometimes it is simply Allah strengthening you in advance so that when the test finally comes, you are ready. This is why the believer who makes istighfar regularly walks through life with a quiet confidence. Not because they feel strong, but because they know who is protecting them. So when life feels uncertain, when the future feels unclear, when fear begins to grow, or when the world feels overwhelming, increase your istighfar, because Allah's protection reaches you long before you realize you needed it. And most of the time, you will never know how much He saved you from, because of one sincere astaghfirullah. Every believer goes through moments when the heart feels distant from Allah. Sometimes you don't feel the sweetness of prayer. Sometimes you delay worship even though you know it's good for you. Sometimes you feel guilty, ashamed, or spiritually empty. And sometimes you don't even know why you feel far, you just do. This distance does not mean Allah has turned away from you. It means your heart is calling you back. It means your soul is thirsty for closeness again. It means you've been disconnected from the one who brings you peace. And in these moments, Shaitan whispers the worst lie. You've gone too far. You've made too many mistakes. You can't return now. But Allah says the opposite. Allah opens the door before you even knock. Allah invites you before you even speak. Allah welcomes you before you even take one step toward Him. And the easiest, simplest, fastest way to return to Allah is through istighfar. You don't need preparation. You don't need a perfect plan. You don't need a long dua. You don't need a specific time or place. You only need a sincere heart and a single phrase. Astaghfirullah. This small phrase carries a universe of meaning. Ya Allah, I made mistakes. Ya Allah, I am weak. Ya Allah, I need you. Ya Allah, bring me back to you. And Allah responds immediately. Not tomorrow, not later, not after punishing you, not after making you wait. Allah responds immediately to the one who seeks forgiveness. Every time you say Astaghfirullah, something inside your heart moves closer to Him. Every time you say it, a layer of guilt disappears. Every time you say it, your soul becomes lighter. Every time you say it, Allah erases something from your past and writes something better in your future. Istighfar does not only wipe away sins, it wipes away distance. It wipes away shame. It wipes away the feeling of being unworthy. Many people avoid returning to Allah because they think they must be perfect first. But Allah never asked for perfection. He asked for sincerity. One sincere istighfar is more beloved to Allah than 1,000 empty actions done without the heart. Istighfar is also a reminder that no matter how far you feel, you are never truly far. The distance is in your heart, not in Allah's mercy, and Allah can erase that distance in a second. A believer who returns through istighfar discovers something beautiful. That closeness to Allah does not depend on how perfect you are, but on how often you return. So when you feel lost, when you feel distant, when your heart feels heavy, and when shame tells you that you don't deserve Allah's love, silence those thoughts with one phrase, Astaghfirullah, because the moment you say it, you are no longer far. You are exactly where Allah wants you, returning to Him with a sincere heart. If there is one thing you take from this reminder, let it be this. Do not underestimate istighfar. It is not a small phrase. It is not something to say only when you feel guilty. Istighfar is a lifeline, a healing, a protection, a door to blessings, calmness, and closeness to Allah. When life feels heavy, say Astaghfirullah. When you feel lost, say Astaghfirullah. When your heart needs softness, say Astaghfirullah. When doors close in your face, say Astaghfirullah. Because Allah never ignores a heart that returns to Him, no matter how many times it has wandered. Your past does not define you. Your mistakes do not disqualify you. Your distance does not erase your worth. What matters is the sincerity with which you come back to Allah, even if all you can say is, Astaghfirullah. Make istighfar your companion, your comfort, your habit, your shield, and you will see a version of your life filled with mercy, clarity, and peace that you never imagined possible. May Allah make our tongues constantly in remembrance, our hearts soft, our soul protected, and our path filled with the light of His forgiveness.